State of the Union with John King, CNN Sunday, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern.
14 newsmakers, analysts, and reporters were out on the Sunday morning talk shows, but only one gets the last word. That honor today goes to the former chief of the CIA's Osama bin Laden unit, Michael Scheuer. Thanks so much for being here with us and getting the last word this morning. Obviously, we want to draw upon your CIA expertise, so let's get right to it. John Brennan told us this morning that we are going to eventually, and that's the key word here, repatriate some of our Guantanamo detainees back to Yemen. I want to play for you what he said and get your response.
We haven't, stopped the process as far as dealing with them. Many of them are going to be prosecuted, some under the Article 3 courts and some in military courts. Some of these individuals are going to be transferred back to Yemen at the right time, at the right pace, and in the right way.
Is there a right way? Can they be rehabbed?
No, they can't. The Saudis, the Yemenis, they know our system better than we do in many ways. They know we like the idea of people being rehabilitated. So we send them back to Saudi Arabia, we send them back to Yemen, and they play records for them, and they teach them how to paint, supposedly, and then they ship them off to kill our soldiers in Afghanistan or Iraq. The whole repatriation business is just a nonsense. These people we hold at Guantanamo want to be released, not to be free, but to go back to the battlefield. And Mr. Brennan, just like the last administration, is really portraying something to the American people that is the farthest thing from the truth.
So as you look at this right now and you see what's going on with al-Qaeda in Yemen, you see the embassy closing just today, do you believe that the threat now is greater than it was just a couple weeks ago?
Oh, it's greater than it was a couple weeks ago, but more importantly, it's much greater than it was on 9/11. We've killed some of the al-Qaeda leaders, and every dead al-Qaeda leader is a success, but all we have is a body count. We now have al-Qaeda, the main al-Qaeda, in the Pakistan theater, in Afghanistan theater. We have a fully fledged wing in Yemen. We have a fully fledged wing in Iraq, a fully fledged wing in North Africa, and a nascent wing in Somalia. How can it be less threatening to us?
Is the threat from al-Qaeda greater in Yemen than it is in Afghanistan right now?
No, certainly not. The threat overall from al-Qaeda is melded together. It's an international organization. We tend to forget that a decade ago we knew that al-Qaeda was in over 50 countries. They're in far more countries than that today.
Well, let me play for you something. I asked John Brennan if al-Qaeda, in fact, was diminished or more sophisticated. Let's hear what he had to say, and then you can respond.
It is both. We have made quite a bit of progress this year in degrading the capabilities of al-Qaeda organization. We've taken the battle to them. We have eliminated a number of their senior leaders and operatives, but that doesn't mean that they still don't have a capability to carry out attacks, and that's what they're doing. They're trying to look for ways and vulnerabilities in our system to get their operatives either here to the United States or in other places to carry out these attacks.
Mr. Brennan is blowing smoke. You have some dead bodies. I agree with that. It's all to the good, but no impact on the overall organization.
So you don't think that it's at all diminished?
No, as I said, I think it's stronger than it was at 9/11. Certainly because the support and opposition across the Muslim world to American foreign policy is far greater today than it was in 9/11. So
our plan right now is to double our aid to Yemen, which is still not a large amount of money, but say it's $160 million. Do you think that will matter if we help the regime there try and get rid of al-Qaeda?
No. I think we tend to forget that one of the first people here with his begging bowl after 9/11 was Yemeni President Saleh. We've been dumping money and ordnance into Yemen since 2001. Al-Qaeda has done nothing but grow there. Mr. Brennan said there are perhaps 300 al-Qaeda operatives in Yemen. I would say if you doubled, tripled, or quadrupled that number, you might get a tenth of what's there. Yemen is bin Laden's ancestral home. More Yemenis than any other Arab nationality fought against the Soviets. There would have been more Yemenis in the 9/11 attack, except they couldn't get visas as easily as the Saudis. Yemen is an al-Qaeda country, and more than that, al-Qaeda helped to put President Saleh in power back in the 90s when there was a civil war in Yemen. There is no way Saleh can exist if he moves to crush al-Qaeda.
So what do?
Theodore Roosevelt once said, "Fear God and take your own part." we'd stop depending on surrogates. We stop depending on Pakistan. We stop depending on Yemen and use our own strong right arm. There's no clause in the Constitution that says President Obama can delegate the defense of America to a Yemeni dictator.